Planet Zoo has been rated E10 Plus by the ESRB for crude humor, mild blood, and mild violence. It is generally suitable for people aged 10 years and up. From the turreted castle and Main Street to Monte Cristo Island and Kukwana Land, Bartholomew Zenon's Zenon Land is protected by the Night Sheriff. Day and night, he is burdened by a witch's curse to be aware of all that live and play within the massive fantasy theme park. Now an attack on the park by a monster hunter who knows far too much threatens everything, guests, staff, and fellow supernaturals taking refuge in the park. The Night Sheriff must scramble to uncover not only the source of the threat, but secrets of the park of which even he was not aware. If he doesn't, he may be doomed. The park may be doomed. Even the world may be doomed. And that's a lot of doom. Get your copy at Amazon.com today. Hey kids, this is Jack. Welcome back to the Sequoia Park Zoo. Hope you're having a good day. I'm recording this on technically it's the 27th. It's the middle of the night on the 27th of December, 2 days after Christmas. Hope your holiday was a nice one. Excuse me just a second. Let me handle this. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I hope your holiday was a nice one. Mine was really good. I got a lot of things that I wanted, plus I got to spend time with my family, which is always a plus. Anyway, I know at the last episode I said something about Przewski's horses or nine-banded armadillos, but I decided to go with the North American Beaver. Now, I started doing a little preliminary landscaping. Oh, hold on. Siegfried is about to die of old age. Poor Siegfried. Okay. He's died of old age. He's a male reindeer. Okay. First thing we need to do is we need to check in storage, see if we have any other reindeer. I don't think we do. Because remember, we're playing franchise mode and this is live time play, so I'm not interrupting the game just to build animals. Plus, I'm not ignoring the game just to build animals. Or to build habitats, rather. Reindeer. Do we have any in storage? We do not. Okay, so we need a male reindeer. Do we need a male reindeer? Let's check. Let's check. We probably need a whole new population. Yes, look at this. Okay. Brigitte is elderly. The rehome button hasn't shown up yet, so let's release her to the wild, okay? And then let's look at the traders. Alright. We have two female Lynn and Agnetha. There are only two left, and Lynn is pregnant, and they're both getting on in years, so we need some more reindeer. Let's go look for reindeer. And we'll start by getting out of the striped skunks, and then we'll go down to the reindeer, who are right here. Now, we're going to need another male. Go ahead and adopt Pecco here. We'll send him to the zoo. Come on. Okay. And then we will need some younger females. Do we have any females at all that are... Female. Confirm. Okay, now I've set it so that we're only looking for female reindeer. Alright, we will adopt her. Why does it always take... The second one always takes longer. I don't understand this. The first one's like boom, 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 and he's on his way to the zoo. The second one's like, no, we need to, like, delay for a minute. Okay. Put her in the habitat, and then we will grab a third one. And that should do it for our reindeer for at least a while. Are facilities broken down? What facilities broken down? Oh, pfft. Do you remember last episode when all the vending machines in the entire park broken down? They broke down all at once? Alright. So let's go back to where we're going to be putting our beavers. Let me turn on my build light. There we go, so you can see it. Now, I started doing some preliminary landscaping. It's kind of to cut down on the time it takes to put it in. And I got, the thing flattened out, and I laid down some path. And then I started scooping out for the water, because beavers like water. And then I built a waterfall. And soon I realized, no, wait, I'm in the middle of building this. I really, really need to just stop and start recording. So here we are. Now, let's set up the barriers first, as always. Beavers are interesting animals. In the game, they're kind of shy and they're tiny, but they require more room. I could not put one of these guys, I could not put these guys in the dome habitat that I've been using for all the other small mammals. Which, by the way, is kind of a problem, because I realized something about the 9-banded armadillo habitat that I was thinking about building, and that is that basically it would just be, yet another dome. I'd drag a dome into a new space, I'd decorate it, and that would be it. That's like 5 minutes for a video. So when it comes to the 9-banded armadillo, or even the European badger, I may just add it to the zoo without filming an episode, and then I'll come back later and go, oh, and by the way, I also added these guys. Aren't these guys cute? Because, if you've seen me do one dome habitat for small mammals, you see me do all, do all of them. And how many of those would you be interested in? I know most of you come here to watch me build for various and sundry animals, and even though the animals are different, because we are talking about badgers and armadillos rather than say red pandas, the habitat's basically the same. So I was thinking about doing it off camera. If you're listening and you want to comment, let me know what you think. I am interested in finding out what you think. If you think I should just go ahead and build the thing in a video, or if I should, do it off camera, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. All right. Now, I'm using these fences because, the beavers chew through wood, and most of the fences I use in this are wood. But this is only partially wood, and it looks like it would, be effective. And it's a good-looking fence on top of it all. Let's go ahead and we need to start adjusting here. So anyway, Christmas. And the day after Christmas is my dad's 75th birthday, so we took him out to dinner. We always make sure to do something special for my dad's birthday, because growing up, being born the day after Christmas means he never, growing up, he never got a lot of birthday parties, and that's kind of sad. I remember him telling me once that, hold on a second. I made a mistake and now I need to fix it. He told me once, my wife and I threw him a birthday party, specifically because he hasn't had a lot of those. And it was like I think he was 50 at the time. And anyway, he, after it's over, and after he's opened presents, and after he's had cake, and everybody's saying happy birthday, he turns to me and he says, you know, I don't remember the last time I had a birthday party. How sad is that? You know, all because he's born the day after Christmas and everybody's concentrating on Christmas. Because he's, you know, he told me once, he said, you know, I've had lots of Christmas presents, but not too many birthday presents because, you know, it's right after, right after Christmas. And to be brutally honest, my dad's family were never the richest people on the planet, so they didn't have a lot of money. You know, they would spend, they would save the money for Christmas, and Dad's birthday would go by the wayside. And it's not really his fault. It's not really nobody's fault. It's just, it is what it is, right? And as a result, we now make sure that Dad gets his special time. Even if all we do is we go out and take him out to dinner, and the restaurant does that thing where they come in and sing happy, happy birthday, we make sure that his birthday is acknowledged. And we did that today, and it was really great. And he enjoyed it, and it's important that he's enjoying things because, I'll be honest, between me, you, and the game here, he's fighting Alzheimer's. And while he still recognizes who everybody is, he's at that stage where he doesn't remember doing things. You know? He'll, to give you an example, we took him out to dinner. We went to a seafood restaurant. It was a really good seafood restaurant. You know, I don't know about anybody else, but I really enjoyed my meal. But Dad, he decided to splurge. He was like, yeah, I want a margarita. I haven't had a margarita in a long time. So they made him a margarita. And, you know, I'm of age. My brothers are of age. So we all got margaritas what would you call it? In support of my father and his margarita, we all got margaritas for ourselves. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So anyway, at one point in the dinner, I take a drink of my margarita and I put it down, and he looks at it and goes, "Did you order that?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I did." And he goes, "I think I want one of those." And I pointed to the table next to him. I said, "Yours is right there, Pop." And he goes, Did I order this?" And I said, "Yes, Pop, you did. You ordered that." He said, "I don't remember ordering it." I said, "Yeah, but that's yours." He says, "Are you sure this is mine? This isn't somebody else's?" And I'm like, no, Pop, I'm sure. I got to tell you, folks, I'm heartbroken. My father, you know how some people say, you know, this person loomed large. They cast a great shadow over your life. That's the way my father was. There are a lot of things that I consider important. There are a lot of attitudes I have. There's a lot of values I have that I learned from my father. You know, always be honest. Take care of your family first. Enjoy the wonder of the natural world. I mean, part of the reason why I love this game so much and I love going to zoos is because my father loved going to zoos. He loved taking us to zoos. My first zoo trip, the very first zoo trip I ever went on, was, I think, when I was 5. There was and still is a really good zoo in Sanford, Florida, the Central Florida Zoo. It's still there. It's still an amazing zoo. If you wanna see it, if you want to see the Central Florida Zoo for yourself, Simply Savannah had a vacation to Florida in which she actually came and visited the Central Florida Zoo, and she does this video travelogue of it. So if you want to see what this zoo looks like, you go ahead and watch her video. I actually commented on it. I told her, I've been going to that zoo my entire life, and it's very important to my family. And it was the very first zoo I went to, and my father took me to it, and he was the one who taught me the value of nature. We just had an animal die. Hold on a second. That's not the menu I want. This is the menu I want. One of our doll sheep has died of old age. Okay, Jacine is a female. How are our doll sheep in general? So anyway, like I said, it's difficult because I'm watching my father. Okay, he's a little old too. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna have the vet come and take away Jacine's body. Mojave is elderly. We're gonna send him out. And then I get the feeling that Iverne is Tanner's sister, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release Tanner also, or I'm gonna release Iverne, and then we're gonna go to the market. We're gonna look at doll sheep. Oops, and only doll sheep. Okay. This one. Who's this? This is. I can't remember. Kimberly. Kimberly without. It's Kimberly without the K. We'll take her too. And then we'll get a third one. And this is Delara. That's a pretty name. Okay. So back to the beavers. Anyway, you know, here I am. I'm an old guy. I'm not ancient old, but you know, I'm old enough to know how the world works, and I know how Alzheimer's works. So I've done the research, and I know what's going on with my father. And to see my father crumbling away like this, piece by piece. You know, the fact that I can see the man that I grew up loving just fall apart in front of my eyes because he can't keep things straight. He can't remember things. The other day he was in the kitchen and he was just standing there confused. And I came in and I said, "Dad, what's the matter?" And he turned to me and he said, "I can't remember where the glasses are." Can't remember where the glasses are. He just wanted to give himself a glass of milk. And he couldn't remember where the glasses are. So I got him a glass. And I helped him get the milk. And he felt ashamed for it. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. He didn't have to, because God damn it, he's my dad. He took care of me while I was growing up, and now it's my turn to take care of him. And he feels like he's failing, because my father is of the generation where men were strong and men were stoic and men took care of themselves and took care of their families, and right now he cannot do that. And it's not his fault that he's suffering this disease, but he feels like it is anyway. He feels like it is anyway. Ah, fuck. I'll be right back in a moment. Alright, I'm sorry guys. I will keep myself collected. It's just, like I said, it's hard. You know, after we got done with dinner tonight, he turns to me and he goes, "This was really fun. I really enjoyed it." And everybody's like, "Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. We're glad you enjoyed it." And I'm just wondering, how much longer do we have until he starts forgetting who we are? You know? That's going to be a nightmare. That's going to be the nightmare for me. When he starts forgetting who, you know, because I already had that happen with another relative. I had that happen with my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother used to call me Forby. Forby was her older son, and Forby had been dead at that point from cancer for 20 years. But, you know, my mom's uncle, my great uncle, Forby, his first name was Forbes. We're very, you know, very Scottish family, among other things. You know, I'm a mutt, but my mother's primarily Scottish. And she thought I was her son and not her great-grandson. And this is a woman who, like my father, had a large influence on my life. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. She introduced me to Star Trek. You know, here she was, you know, I think she was, when she introduced me to Star Trek, she was in her, I want to say 80s. She was 80 years old and I was 6. And I have an intense memory of her making lunch and sitting me down in front of the TV with her sitting next to me, and we had tuna fish sandwiches and a glass of milk each. And I remember her sitting me down and making sure I had my little napkin, and I was all ready for my sandwich, and she said, "We're going to watch some TV." And of course at the time TV was a treat, because this was, you know, this is not like today where we had all kinds of cable channels and all that number. You basically dealt with the broadcast channels or you dealt with nothing. And I didn't get to watch TV all that often anyway, because hey, I was only 6, and besides, you know, TVs were expensive and it was in black and white. But my great-grandmother had this little tiny TV. It was maybe 6 inches square, and she sat down and she said, "You're gonna really like this show, Jackie." That's what she called me, Jackie. And it turned out to be Star Trek. I don't even remember which episode it was. It was the Corbomite maneuver. And she was right. I fell in love with it. I have been a Star Trek fan since I was 6 years old. And it was all because of her. She was a very cool lady, old lady, my great-grandmother. She loved the Beatles. But anyway, I watched her go through this. So now I'm watching my father go through it. And it's not just the two of them. My Aunt Sandy, my dad's younger sister, is also going through it. And I talked to my cousin Chris, who's Sandy's son, and Amy, who's Sandy's daughter, and we all talk about what it's like having a parent that's struggling with Alzheimer's. It's not very fun. I'll tell that for nothing. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry for bringing down the recording. I thought I'd tell you about my holiday, and it turned into a discussion about how my father's fighting Alzheimer's. We had a beautiful dinner. It was a great dinner. I got to tell you that salmon New Orleans is maybe my favorite dish in the entire world, and it was amazing. Everybody had a good time, and at the end of it, my father was smiling. And that's the most important part. So anyway, back to the build. We are, I'm just putting the fence up for the beavers, which is unfortunately one of the slowest and most tedious parts of it. If I was gonna speed up any part of it, it would be this. But I promised that this was gonna be real-time gameplay, so I gotta keep my word. Speaking of gameplay, I'm almost finished with my Mass Effect playthrough, and I'm almost finished with my Cyberpunk 2077 playthrough. So I gotta figure out what I want to do next after those games are finished. I've got some ideas. So it's almost going to be 2023 soon. I cannot believe how quickly time flies. I know a lot of younger people are like, "What are you talking about? It's taking the same amount of time." It's like, no. When you get to a certain age, a year is nothing. I think back on something and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't long ago. And then I actually count out the years and it's like, holy shit, that was 30 years ago. How could 30 years have gone by without me noticing? The answer to that question is easily. It's scary. When you get to be a certain age, I mean, you guys out there watching who are in your 20s now, just watch. Give it 40 years soon and you're going to start lose track of time because 5 years might as well be 5 minutes, and 10 years will go by before without you noticing, and the next thing you know, your kids are in your 30s, and are thinking that you're old and out of touch, just like the kids today think my generation's old and out of touch. Although, for the record, my generation are Generation Xers. I am not a boomer. I'd like to say that for the record because I've had more than one millennial and more than one Gen Z call me a boomer. I'm not a boomer, I'm an Xer. And one person actually said, and this was funny, they said, well, your generation was the one responsible for separate but equal. No. Separate but equal was ended 10 years before I was born. Just about 10 years. And on top of it all, separate but equal wasn't even my parents. My parents are both boomers. But separate but equal wasn't their fault either. Separate but equal was instituted in the 1890s. Well, that's not even that's not even the greatest generation, the so-called greatest generation's fault. That the people who fought World War II wasn't their fault either. I don't think we have a word for the because I know that the one before the boomers were called the lost generation because so many of them died in World War I. But I don't know what we would call the parents of the lost generation. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. But anyway, they accuse me of being responsible for things, and I'm like, no, we weren't responsible for them. People have a very skewed view of history. They don't think about what the history means before they comment on it. And they also don't think about the attitudes involved. They just assume that their generation being now is somehow better than the old generation because the old generation, they were racist, they were sexist, they were this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no, they weren't. The boomers were racist. Really? The boomers were racist? The boomers that marched with Dr. King? The boomers that fought to institute the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which made racial discrimination illegal, gender discrimination illegal. Those boomers? Are those the boomers you're talking about? Learn your history, folks. It's not as cut and dried as people want to think. It really isn't. Okay, let's take Brindley here. And then let's take Sirius. I misspelled it, but I'll change his name. Okay. Now let's work on the habitat itself, now that we've got fences up. Well, it's like most issues are much more complicated than you might think. I'll give you an example. I can't take the movie The Woman King seriously. You know, the one with Viola Davis about the, you know, the proud African tribe that's fighting to end slavery. Yeah, I can't take that seriously. You know why? Because the tribe in question not only was fighting to keep slavery, and everything they said, well, you know, they were, you know, he didn't want to do it. It's no bullshit, he didn't want to do it. The actual King Jeaux is on record as saying, slavery is the foundation of my people's happiness and success. And he will give up anything to prevent war with the British, except give up slavery. This is the guy that this is the tribe that the Woman King tries to turn into heroes. African actress Lupita Nyong'o refused to take part in the Woman King, and then made a video about why. And her why is all about how the tribe in question were horrific monsters who would enslave anybody and murder people at a heartbeat, and now here's this movie trying to turn them into heroes. And people are like, wait a second, there was slavery and, you know, Africans who were since... Yeah! Slavery predates the Dutch coming to Africa and buying their first black person, guys. It really, really does predate that happening. Let's see if this is deep enough. Oh, it might. Okay. Yeah, okay, both beavers are on their way from... Alright, so let's see what we can do. North American Beaver. Trying to figure out what is it that makes this unplaceable. I think it's proximity to the fence. Oh, look at that. No, we don't want that. So let's move this a little. Adjust it, as it were. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Then we'll just move it back. Some. There we go. Okay, here are our beavers. Friendly and serious, but they misspelled it, so I'm going to rename him. Alright, let's see. Yeah, thanks. No, come on, let me... I'm looking at traversable area here. Alright. 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 Okay. We will give them a melon feeder. Put it over there. And a slow feeder, we'll put it... Let's see, we'll put it over here. They've already got a plant feeder. How about toys? The beaver pool, the curio ball. Okay. A submarine toy. We'll put. Let's see how much coverage they want. All right, hard shelter. There's no hard shelter here, but that's okay. That's okay. No, what I want is the habitat. I want habitat. And I want the shelters, and let's take this off. No, that's not what we want. What I want is something like this. I have a smaller one. That's too big. What I'm looking for is basically something like, well, you know what? Why don't we just use that one? Use this one. Okay, we'll sink this just a little. Whoops, hello. I hate when that happens. We'll sink this just a little bit. Like that. Okay, and yeah. Why is it constantly adjusting for deep water? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we got shelter. Needs more soil. Needs less rock. Okay. Alright, there we go. How about coverage? Coverage is good, but they could use more. Let's get individual. Instead of planting down one of my normal formations like I normally do, let's look at plants, at just individual plants. Okay. Taiga, grassland, aquatic, and tundra. Turn off the blueprints. Bald cypress. Those are actually pretty good, especially for aquatic habitats. Let's put one down right about there. I'll put another one over here. Because you never just have one bald cypress. Trust me, we've got cypress swamps here in Florida. And boy howdy, you can find them everywhere. Let's spread some leaves around. I know that looks completely fake, but that's the point. All right. Do this from the outside so that the reeds aren't tilted. Let's sink them a little, and there we go. All right, what else have we got? No. Cypress tree. Cypress tree. What is cypress tree? Cypress trees are so small. I don't know. Let's put it like next to the hole. Festive spruce. No, it says no longer the season, buddy. Okay, Douglas fir. We got a lot of Douglas fir. And then there was, oh yeah. We could put it on this corner. Let's put it on this corner. How about right in front of the waterfall? Yes. Yes, like that. Okay, I want to get some rocks, and for this I am going to use the formation. Taiga rocks. Really? I just want a basic grouping of rock, that's all. Like something right here. You see this? What I'm trying to do here? Okay. And we'll just pull this one out and bring it back in to just give the other half of it some support. I know it kind of looks funny, but who's really going to look underwater? My ADHD is talking to me. All right, and I'm gonna round it out by planting some more Douglas fir, because Douglas fir seems to be a thing. Okay, let's grab a sign. Put the signs in and around. I think this is looking pretty good. The barrier line. Oh, excuse me, I've got the hiccups now. Oh gosh, I hate hiccups. My hiccups hurt. The barrier lines might need adjusting, but I'll do that off camera. So let's see, North American Beaver. It says no power. North American Beaver. Well, we will plant copies of this around, and then we will worry about the power problem. Okay. All right, so I now need to just basically put in some power. I know what I'm going to do. Oops, come on. Let's find it. We're going to do this. This is a well-beloved and well-loved and well-used prefab that I made. It's basically a clean energy display, but it has a functional solar power generator on it, which means people don't mind the fact that it's there because it adds power. Now I'm gonna have to do it again because this thing doesn't have power. That's alright though. I'll put another one over here. Like right here. Hopefully that solves the problem. Does it solve the problem? It does not solve the problem. How about that? Okay, well, you know, I'll just have to do some remodeling. working on it. Still not gonna look perfect, but it will let us do this. Facilities breaking down. All right, let's get some path in to allow our workers to handle their jobs. There we go. All right, now let's see about these facilities. Vending machine. Mechanic requested. Every 3 months. Okay. Then water treatment 5, which probably has the same problem. Yeah, you can't run your facilities every year, which means let's check this. Yeah. Okay, I just had another reindeer die. Alright, where did I put the... Oh, it's over here. Duh. We'll handle the reindeer in just a moment. All the fun of franchise, folks. You actually have to play the game. In, what's a fallow deer? Female fallow deer. Call that. So we can see how the fallow deer are doing. When you're playing Sandbox, you can effectively ignore actually playing the game. You don't actually have to play the game if you do it or not. Okay, he's juvenile. Let's put all the juveniles on birth control just in case Daddy here decides that he really wants to have sex with one of his daughters. We're going, let's see, 13.8, and they only live about 16 years. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and release all the adults to the wild, except of course the dead one. Hopefully I pause the game, duh. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go looking for European fallow deer. Alright. European fallow deer. Okay. Alright, this is the least expensive meal and he's 8,000. Beggars and choosers, guys. Beggars and choosers. So let's adopt him, send him to the zoo. And then we need, say 3 females. I'm wondering why the male fallow deers are so expensive. It seems like somebody's trying to, whoa, hey, no. Don't tell me she's pregnant. Oh, we've got a lot of them. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm also looking at the fallow deer, so let me just look at the moose for now. Okay, she's a young adult, she's in the trade center, and now she's released to the wild. There we go. She did not get pregnant by her daughter, or by her father, that's a good thing. Mini guest thinks tickets are too expensive, underpriced. Underpriced, they're 45 bucks. There's a maximum price for the tickets in this game of $100 per. I once had a game where I had reached that $100 per limit, and they were still telling me that the tickets were not expensive enough. They deserved the guests thought that they should be more expensive. Okay, I just had a couple of who was about to explode. Martino, that's him. Okay. All right. Well, let's take care of the beavers real quick. All right. What else did I want? I wanted this. I want one of these. Let's put it up here. All right, good enough. And while we're at it, we will add the education talk, the talk center thing, talk point. Slide it in real quick. Not completely. My God. You can't trust animals because they don't really care. They'll have sex with their parents. This is the beaver. We got beaver talk. Okay. No music. We're going to put them in a zone soon, but not just yet. Let's move this out so it just a touch. There we go. All right, now what else do I need here? I need one of these signs. Move it over. Right there. And then we'll need a cover. Come on, a cover. I do this just to line the thing up to make it look better. Like, whoops, like that. And then we lift it so that it's about that high. There we go. All right. The reason I paused it was because we were getting so many alerts that I literally could not finish what I was doing. And while I openly say, well, you know, you have to play the game and franchise, I also want to get this done so that this video isn't an hour long, you know? Okay, so let's do this. And let's, whoops, this. Okay, Martino has matured. Well, he still looks young, but apparently he's matured and the animation hasn't caught up to him, so I'm going to send him away. Goodbye, Martino. Who else? Maja. Maja has matured. We're going to send her away. Thank you very much, Maja. Are the Eurasian lynx actually fighting? Looks like they are. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Okay. We'll release those guys to the wild. And we have one thing. Water treatment 5 still hasn't been seen by anybody? My lord. Okay, there we go. So, let's head back over to where the beavers are, over here. And take a look at the habitat. They're doing pretty well as far as beavers go. You know, smaller animals. What is this? Animal nutrition? Okay, well, you know, did I forget to put a food trough down? I might have. North American Beaver. Yeah, I think I may have forgotten to put a feeding station, you know, a food box. Oh, come on, guys. All right. And a water pipe. Treatment 5 has failed. Yes, I know. I'm trying to get a mechanic out there. Why is nobody fixing it? That's my question. All right, guys, I'm gonna fix this off camera. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I like how the beaver habitat came out. It looks like a place where beavers would live. People are actually interested in it. They're watching it. They're coming to see it. Beavers are interesting animals. They're not one of the more exciting animals, but they are interesting animals. And I'm sure that we'll have babies soon. So I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.